Good evening and welcome to the Job Search Solution, the radio program where we talk about looking for a job, changing jobs, changing careers, hiring. And as always, we begin with a prayer. Dear God, grant us thy peace and thy mercy. Thy will be done. And lately we've been starting our day out with gratitude, 10 seconds of gratitude. It makes the whole evening different. Think about three things today that you are grateful for. Go. You can't be unhappy when you're grateful. You just can't be unhappy when you're grateful. Grateful for the day, grateful for things that happened to you that were setbacks, maybe. Grateful for your kids, in spite of how trying often kids are. Just grateful for everything. We normally have Rich Shavinsky on with us every Wednesday, but he is ill and not able to be with us this evening. So we've got a couple of special things that we're going to be talking about in lieu of that. We always have backup plans here. We can talk about endless numbers of things regarding the job search process. And we're going to miss Rich because he's always got some real interesting observations about the consulting business. We've been lately discussing myths of hiring. And this used to be a bigger myth than it is, but it's still a myth. Something's wrong with a candidate that's been out of work for 6 months or longer. Just something's wrong with them. Something's wrong. Now, there are lots of very good candidates who have been on the sidelines for some valid reasons. Find out what those reasons are. If you're a hiring authority, investigate it. If the reasons are, well, I had nothing better to do, so I thought I'd take 6 or 7 or 8 months off and go to Mallorca and spend some time wasting time. And then I thought, well, it's about time I get around to finding a job. So I thought I'd show up here and see an interview with you. What you got? Nah, probably not a good idea to pursue that candidate. But just because a candidate's been looking for a job for 6 months or longer doesn't necessarily make him or her a bad candidate. 50 to 60% of the candidates that are on the market have misjudged the market totally, especially if they've been out of work. Even if they are working and looking for a job, they misjudge the market. I hear it every day, at least 4 or 5 times a day. Well, back when I was looking for a job a few years ago, it was a lot easier. I found it, I didn't have any kind of a problem. What's the problem? Well, it's the economy, stupid. We're in a minor recession. We're in a tough time. A lady tried to tell me yesterday, I think I mentioned this on the program yesterday, that she was looking for $185,000 because that's what she made 3 years ago, and she wasn't going to take anything less than $185,000, and that's what she was going to get. She was going to hold out for that, and she'd been out of work for almost a year, but she was going to get $185,000 because she was worth that. None of us are intrinsically worth anything. What's your house worth? Nothing until the day you sell it. That's how you know what it's worth. People have a screwball idea of what the market is. They think that just because they were able to get X amount of dollars a few years ago or last year or whatever, they're going to be able to get it again. But be that as it may, just because a candidate has been out of work for a period of time doesn't make them a bad candidate. It doesn't make their values haywire. You don't know till you ask, find out. Talked to a candidate yesterday who's been out of work for 5 months. He's been seriously trying to find a job. It's not easy, especially in the business that he's in. It's just been hard. Admit it, it's been doggone hard. He's only had 3 or 4 interviews. And he admits that up until recently, years ago, in fact, I was involved with him years ago, he could get 4 or 5 interviews in a week. Well, the market's changed. Admit it. The market's changed. My skills and my experience aren't as marketable as they used to be. It's a tough market out there. I'm doing the best I can. I'm talking to everybody that I can, and I'm trying to sell myself as best I can. So just because a candidate has been out of work for a period of time doesn't necessarily make them a bad candidate. Please cut them some slack. Find out the reason. If they had nothing better to do than to lay around the house and get around to interviewing sometime in the near future, and that's another story. The sense of urgency may not be there. But think about that. You may eliminate them for a lot of reasons, but don't necessarily eliminate them for that reason. Be realistic. Who knows? The shoe may be on the other foot tomorrow. All right, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. This is Tony Bashiro with the Job Search Solution.